So, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. First of all, I have to say that you really, with Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai, you really capture my just love of Gremlins, and it almost just stokes that childhood sort of love for this material. So my first question would be, what do you feel like is the secret to really nail that kind of tone of the whimsy and adventure aspect with some of the more maybe scarier stuff?
I mean, it's definitely something that we talked about from the very beginning of even when we pitched the show and with the writers. And, one of the great things about animation is at every step, you have the chance to just like make it crazier or funnier or weirder, scarier. And, for us, Brendan and I were huge fans of the Gremlins movies, and they're so unique in that tone of being funny, but genuinely scary and like really weird and idiosyncratic. And so wanting to bring that energy to this prequel was something that we definitely set about to do. And, we're really glad to hear that as a fan of the original movies, you responded to it.
Yeah, I think it's also one of the great things with Gremlins is big swings and tonal shifts is baked into Gremlins. I mean, there's like few things that are cuter and more immediately make you go awe than Gizmo. Then on the flip side, it's like Gremlins themselves, the evil Mogwai, are inherently both terrifying and hilarious. So it's like just if you just kind of let them lead you, you're gonna end up there no matter what.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny. I remember as a kid, I saw that way too young. I don't know if y'all have that.
Same.
Okay.
Every person on the crew and the writers room saw it too young.
Nice. Like my parent, I think I saw it about 5 or 6, and my parents told me that I would carry a flashlight around just in case. Like
That's an excellent Mogwai protection kit, by the way, for any kid.
Yeah, just a flashlight. There you go.
Yeah.
So now since we're talking about the writing, I have to ask, did Star Magic Jackson Jr. show up in the writer's room to kind of pitch some ideas?
They were there in spirit.
Yeah, he's in our heads and hearts at all times.
We honestly, we watched that skit. I hope that Key and Peele know that we watched that skit like dozens of times in the writer's room. Anytime there was like, let's just watch it again.
That's amazing.
And we did have our version of it as we did have a whiteboard. At one point, it was just the day of like, okay, every Gremlin gag that you've ever wanted to do. It was like, here's our 2 lists. Here's 1920s Shanghai culture and Gremlins. How do we marry these together? Just like start pitching gags. And it led to like the most insane whiteboard possibilities.
That's amazing. I hope you have a picture of that.
Somewhere, I think, yeah.
No, that's great. And it sounds like, doing my research, hearing like other interviews and reading some other interviews, it sounds like Warner Brothers was very like on board with just letting your imaginations go wild with this project.
I mean, yeah, we feel really lucky in that, not just Warner Brothers and Amblin, they were so encouraging of us to really take big swings tonally. Anytime that there was something emotional, they're like, make it more emotional, make it as scary as you want it to be. And then beyond that, obviously having Joe Dante as a consulting producer and Steven Spielberg as an executive producer and getting their blessing on it, that definitely gave us a lot of confidence and freedom in the writer's room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that through the entire process, I think we got one kind of, hey, can you pull this back note across everything? Otherwise, there's always go further, go nice. More body horror, more dismemberment.
You gotta love that. You gotta love that note.
Oh, it's delightful.
And that's what's really interesting. And I noted this in my review, which is like, I don't see a lot of like kinder trauma and just nightmare fuel in like kids-based media. So I thought that was really cool that like I'm being very careful with spoilers, but like there's an unhinged jaw moment that kind of is now stuck in my brain.
That was actually one of the best parts on that is our sound effect guy Jesse Aruda and our mixer Patrick Spain were both commented that anytime ever, because it's doing a lot more like kind of family kids cartoons, it's always like, oh, tone something down, don't kind of run with it or bury it in the mix, stuff like that. They were like, this is the only time ever to be asked, like, can we get more crunching? Can we make it more bone-like? And make sure it's really at the forefront. We want to make sure we're really, everybody's hearing the crunch.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now I have a couple to wrap up, a couple like rapid fire questions.
Oh,
Okay, which is the better movie, Gremlins 1, Gremlins 2?
Joe Dante's gonna like shoot a bullet from his house like in the movie Wanted, and it's just gonna curve and hit me and then hit Brendan.
I'll throw it out though. Gremlins 2 is slightly dearer to my heart.
Okay.
And I just Gremlins 1 was the first one I watched, and so that kind of hero's journey with Billy is something that I always responded to.
Nice.
Joe, don't kill us.
If you see the red dot, just duck. So now, all right, who's cuter, Grogu or Gizmo?
Gizmo.
Okay. So like fingers crossed that there is a second season. If you could have any voice actor do a guest spot, who would it be?
So lucky for us, there is a second season and it's almost done. We had this really great thing where it was really rare, but we started working on the second season before the first one premiered. And so like, I think we just have post for a couple more episodes, but it has a great voice cast and we can't spoil anything now, but there's like the way that the first season, I mean, we felt very lucky that, I mean, basically everybody was our first choice, and second season, there's like a really stacked voice cast.
Yeah. And I will say there is actually in particular 2 people who I always hope to like, oh, I want to someday work with, and got to in season 2. So yeah, it's fun.
And like season 1, there's some really great Easter eggs and folks that were in the Gremlins movies that are doing guest voices for us.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I got to wrap, but y'all can check out Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai on I gotta retrain my brain and not call it HBO Max.
Of course.
Just Max. Yeah, it's amazing. Check it out. Thank you guys so much. I had a blast.
Thank you so much
for your support. Thank you for the review also. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for your awesome room. It was so cool.
Yeah, I want to read all the DVDs and Blu-rays there.
Well, I hope y'all get a physical release because I'll own it.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Fingers crossed.